Alright guys, we got some deadlifts on this video, starting with our 70%, 2 sets of 5 here, and we decided to take some side angles to kind of give you a different view of form and technique and things like that. It's kind of crazy. I'm just kind of noticing some of my last videos focusing on deadlift and squats. You'd think that this was a powerlifting channel. But no powerlifting meets planned for me anytime soon. I just personally like focusing on bodybuilding, but in the off season, focusing on getting stronger and getting better at these movements is motivating, and hitting PRs in the off season, what it's all about. So now we're moving on to our. I think I'm still on my 70% for 5 reps. As you can see here, I'm really focusing on a couple cues I focus on as I really take a deep breath before I pull the weight, and I try. I'm not the best at it, but there's some of you guys are familiar with pulling the slack out of the bar. That's one thing that I hadn't done in the past that I've been trying to work on. And here's kind of going back to the front. Here's moving on to our 80% for 3 reps. But with sumo, one thing you really want to focus on, sumo was one of those movements where it does take a lot more flexibility, so that's why we do a lot of hip mobility, stretching, and things like that to warm up before doing these. I think one critique that I have is sometimes if my hips are still tight, I don't drop my hips down as far as I should. But here's us going into our 90%. We kind of were goofing off, and we kind of, in a way, if any of you guys are familiar with the Lane Norton quad stomp that he's done in some of his older videos, we were kind of joking about that, and we were like, we had Brooke there, our front desk girl, try to get a little more amped up for our 90% sets here. I think this is Devin. He's I think this is like 360 or 365 or so. This guy's making some great strength progress from where he started. And like I said, this is our 90%. So it's basically kind of just shoot for at least getting 3 reps so you can advance. And then he's good to go on his. And then here's me. I'm getting pumped up. Just get you a little, get out of my way. So here I go. I think on this last set for me, I believe this was about 485 pounds. And to my surprise, I was hoping it was going to feel lighter, but it felt, you just have those days where sometimes the weight's just not feeling as good as it should. And so it was kind of, even though it doesn't look that hard at the time, I think I only got 4 here, which is fine. Like I said, I still got more than my recommended 3 reps, but I think I was shooting more for at least getting 5 on this. So next up in this video, on this day, like I said, we focused on our deadlift percentages, but it's more of a hypertrophy leg workout after this. So our kind of focus today, and especially while we're going at the side angle here, and this is a great tip for any of you guys for checking your squat depth, seeing where your depth is at. Aligning a camera, your cell phone, whatever, right from the side here, make it the angle lower too, so you can really see where your hip is kind of dropping. And so, like for Devin here, we were noticing that he's kind of hitting just right at parallel, if not maybe a tiny bit below. So for him, we decided, let's take the ego out of it. Let's drop the weight. This was him doing, I think, 225. We said, let's drop the weight down to 185 on your next set, and let's just work on depth. Let's work on getting better range of motion. So here's filming mine to kind of see where I'm at. And for me, as you see, I drop right in the hole. I've had some people kind of question my depth on different angles that I've done, but here's a good side view to kind of see, that I am getting good depth and range of motion on my squats. Pretty sure this would pass, pretty easily, if I was to do a meet, which I don't plan on doing anytime soon. But still, though, I'm just all about, as a bodybuilder and things like that, making sure my big 3 movements, my bench, my squat, my deadlift, maximizing my technique and having the best form possible. And it doesn't matter, guys, no matter how many years you've been lifting, you can always improve these movements. Deadlifts, squats, bench press. I mean, I'm still improving these movements after lifting for 10 plus years. So here's an example of Devin. He dropped the weight down to 185, took the ego out of it, and just focused on getting better depth on this set, which you'll see he's focusing on really trying to sit more in the hole, and he's getting lower than the previous set. So just a good example for some of you guys, especially for some of you beginners. Start with a lower weight, get your technique down first, and build your strength from there. A good example of my slow setup that I've kind of showed you guys and emphasized in the past. I really emphasize your squat setup. It makes a huge difference. But here's just a front angle of me going through a I believe this is a 10 rep set. That's kind of something I've been sticking with on this deadlift day. I've been doing 3 sets of 10 reps, kind of pyramiding up in weight. I think currently I'm kind of doing anywhere from like 245 on the first set, and then going up to about 285 to 290 on the second set, and then on my third and final set getting up to, I think my last set that I got up to was about 305 to 310 pounds. So each week I'm adding 5 pounds to each of my sets. So another way of kind of progressive overload that I'm working on for this is kind of more, like I said, my secondary squat day. We also have the squat day with the percentages where we're kind of going heavier and focusing on a lot more weight. So here is another front view with Devin. And if any of you guys remember some of his past videos, he's kind of had an issue with his knees kind of buckling. I believe he tore, I can't remember, he has an injury in one of his, I think it's his left knee. So we've been kind of working on making sure that he's really focusing on driving those knees out. And as you can see, he's getting a lot better than his previous videos that we took of his squats. So like I said, he's making some awesome strength gains on his big 3 while being in a deficit. That's the biggest thing, is he's still gaining strength while in a deficit. So that's pretty huge. But moving on to my last and final set, one thing I wanted to make sure with me is we took that first depth check, I believe with only my first light set with about 250 pounds or 245 pounds, whatever. So this is my last set with, it looks like I think maybe 300 to 305 pounds. Just kind of want to make sure that my depth was still hitting in the same spot, even though I was, doing a heavier weight. And as you can see, my depth still remains the same, even though I'm doing, a good amount more weight. So that is pretty much the emphasis of this video. I have some new videos coming up. Stay tuned. Again, I'm going to try to get some more kind of out of range or different video focuses, as far as not just doing the lifting stuff, trying to get more nutrition stuff for you guys, grocery shopping videos. Eventually I do plan on trying to get in a full day of eating. I know a lot of people have kind of requested that. I need to do a full day of if it fits your macros, flexible dieting, eating. So anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.